Hello one and all, welcome back to the breakdown. I'm Tone, and as always it is wonderful to have you back here with me again today. Now if you had one guess as to what I might talk about on my episode today, what would it be? Well, today the topic is going to be this COVID-19 thing that just continues to drag on. And it's not a surprise to me. As you would well know if you've been following my posts and videos and whatever else, you'd know it's not really a surprise. In a video last week I talked about the fact that the model for mask wearing and social distancing and all of that was done here in Melbourne. People all over the world, but especially in particular in America, there were people doing various YouTube channel videos talking about this exact fact, and they were starting to come up with this idea about the same time as me. Everyone's eyes were on Melbourne. Anyway, we seem to be coming good right now. But it's kind of like the hand holding something and saying, "Oh, do you want your freedom? Oh, no, you can't have it just yet. Would you want your freedom back again? Oh, no, you just can't have it just yet." And we're still wearing these dirty, great big masks on our faces. Just as a aside, apparently there was some arrests made and that at some beach parties where people weren't social distancing and weren't wearing masks. Can you really blame some people? I mean, the fatigue. How many months have we gone with this crap? But anyway, I digress. Wanted to talk about this cluster of cases that apparently is rearing its ugly head in Adelaide, and the way the news, or the way the media's spinning it, saying, well, oh no, I guess that's going to put a kibosh on the Christmas hopes and the travel plans of people who are just like, finally, I can fly to another capital city, I can fly to another state, and I can go and see family. To the point where there was flights in the air when they changed the rules today. By the time the people there landed, they were told they've got to go into self-isolation. Now, does that mean they've got to go and pay for their own accommodation? I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, come on. Imagine you've just got to Adelaide and then you're told you've got to go and self-quarantine, you've got to self-isolate, and you've got to pay, $2,000, and that's probably being generous, $2,000 to go for 2 weeks and self-quarantine, self-isolate. I can tell you, to some degree, I reckon I know where I'd tell them to stick it. If I had somewhere else that I could be, and I had to pay to stay. Anyway, look, this model that Melbourne has had, I thought perhaps we wouldn't see that again until next flu season, right? That's what I thought. I thought maybe we wouldn't see that here. I thought we were out of the woods and we had to wait until the middle of next year, but no, we're barely a couple of weeks out of things looking like they're freeing up here in Melbourne, and already they're pushing this thing over in Adelaide. Now, I'm skeptical, to be completely honest, about these cases in Adelaide. Look, borders just get close to being opened up, and then immediately, no, sorry, can't do that. Restrictions tighten, bans go on, people being able to go to other states days after being told You know, people have spent money, made bookings, and finally they can get out of here and go and do something. Nope. On go the brakes. And so, based on that, if you were of the mindset, you thought maybe it's going to be under control here, and the rest of the world's going to follow us, and it's going to free up and we're going to be back to some sort of decent normal by this time next year, the very thing that's happening, we're coming into summer now, and the very fact that they've got this going on over in Adelaide now, we're not coming into winter like over in Europe and America, we're coming into summer, and yet we've got this going on in Adelaide. Think about that. Just what do you think that looks like? Is this thing ever going to go away? And I don't just mean this thing, but I mean the handling of this thing. To what degree do you think it'll get to in a very short space of time? We've already talked about on this channel about the vaccine and the standards and those things that we may have to follow in order to be able to go back to some sort of normal life. In order to have a job, you must wear a mask, you must have the vaccine. In order to go to school, you must wear a mask and you must have the vaccine. To be a teacher, to be a doctor, well, doctors wear these anyway, hey, they're used to it. But to do any particular job where you might be in proximity to other people. And might I add, I'm nowhere near anybody right now, but I could get done a lot of money out of my back pocket for not wearing this blue thing. I'm not near anybody, but just in case I was to become in the proximity of other people, I need to have it on now so that I don't inadvertently forget to put it on when I get closer. Actually get close to people. So, but yeah, we're going to have to wear masks, got to have the vaccine. Now this is something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and that's travel overseas. What's that going to look like moving forward? How much is it going to cost? What are going to be the restrictions? What are the standards and the rules and everything like that will be in place, even, maybe well into my 40s, 50s, 60s. If this is what we can do, shutting down the world and changing everything over a coronavirus with a survival rate of 99.97%, or is it 7%? Irregardless, a negligible number compared to what percentages of people die from other things. And to know that the coronavirus is just in the same family as the common cold coronaviruses. Come on. If this was the real deal, if this was a real pandemic, to the point where everyone needed to be afraid for their lives, we would not be allowed out now. It's not gone. It couldn't possibly be gone in this time frame. And that's why I know that they're dangling this carrot in front of you and going, do you want it? But you can't have it yet. But if you keep following us, eventually you'll get it. Oh, we're so close. Keep going. Start to get fatigued. Oh no, I give up. They're never going to give me the carrot. And then it comes that little bit closer. Oh no, hang on. Another couple of weeks. Another few added pieces of effort, and we might just get there. Still can't have the carrot. It's getting ridiculous. Now, to be completely honest, I had already pretty much succumbed to the idea some time back that I may not go home to see my family for Christmas. So I am okay with that. Now, okay, probably not the right word. I've resolved to deal with it if that was the outcome. That way, if I'm wrong and we can go to do what we'd love to do and catch up with family and friends in much the same old way as we used to, we'll probably still have to wear this, but then great, I'm happy to be wrong. But I had already decided to just deal with the idea I'm probably not going to get to go and have a normal Christmas this year. And I mean, they've been spouting off the idea that it's going to be a COVID normal Christmas. Been hearing that out of Daniel Andrews' mouth for weeks now. COVID normal Christmas, COVID normal Christmas. And you're not going to get told that if it's not going to have some kind of bearing on what is actually going to happen. You remember when I think I've spoken about this too, and if I haven't, well, here's some clarity. If you want to convince people, or at least prepare people to get with the program, to get the idea of what's likely to happen, you know, you want them to accept a new thing, you keep telling them in little pieces, little parts, little pieces. It's going to be like this. It's going to be like this. In this case, we'd probably have to handle it like this. Now, in everything, whenever I've heard that start to be spieled off by media and politicians, oh, you bet your bottom dollar we head that direction eventually. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's slow. When I went to school, I'd always have the back of my mind, I'm thinking, why are they drumming this into me? Why are they drumming this particular part of history into me? Why are they drumming this particular storyline, or this particular ideal, or this particular theory? Why are they shoving that in my face over and over and over again? And I think that was a very good question for me to be asking myself at the age of 13, 14, 15. I think it was a jolly good question to be asking. Because now, that critical thinking keeps me ahead of the pace most of the time. Very, very good. So what story or what particular narrative are they trying to sell you? What are they trying to sell us? What do they want us to be ready to just openly accept without too much of a fuss? Something that's over and above what we've already had to endure, I would suggest, is the possibility, and highly likely. What do you think? I'd appreciate it if you would perhaps drop a comment in the comments section for this video and tell me, what do you think they're going to want to try to get people to swallow, to accept, to bow down to? That's, I think, a very good question to be asking ourselves right now. Just as I said the other day, remember, I'm heading to Coles again here, so you remember my previous video if you've watched that one. Here's my face, but the focus is actually needing to be on what's behind me, right? When you're talking about media and you're talking about politicians and you're talking about a mainstream story, what's right up in your face is not really the thing that you need to be looking into. So, It's much the same. Same line of thinking I'm sharing here today. Same thing. What are we being bombarded with that they want us to accept, while the actual story, the truth behind of what's going on, they don't actually want us to see that? What is that? What does that look like? And I think that is the question that I'll leave you with. If you'd like to share your thoughts and comments, I'd be really happy to hear those. But this stuff that's going on with the lockdowns and masks and stuff like that over in Europe, that hasn't finished. That's just getting started. The stuff in America, well, we'll hear plenty more about that once this election stuff is resolved. But until then, that's the main story. But right underneath that main story, there's a lot of trouble going on in America. We'll hear about that eventually. Another example of which story takes precedence and priority. Which one hits the hardest? Which one gets the most attention, right? Anyway, I hope you've been able to hear me. I do apologise if this video's been cut through by the wind too much. I have tried to guard the phone a little bit. But yeah, just be eyes and ears open, guys. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you for joining me once again on the breakdown. If you like this video, please leave a like. That would be fantastic. Like I said, if you've got comments or questions, the comment section is right there to utilise. If you've got any suggestions, by all means send them through too. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd really appreciate that also. And as always, it's fantastic to have the support. I do see that there's a few views on my videos, but please share it with other people, because this stuff really needs to be thought about. You know, if we're not searching for the truth, if we're not knocking on the doors of truth, we're not going to find it. And they'll continue to lie to us, and they'll continue to scare us, and they'll continue to try and breed this fear and compliance in the people that are under them. And we're not meant to be under anyone. And my own personal view, we're not meant to be under anyone other than God. We're not to make gods of other people. We're certainly not allowed to allow themselves to try and make themselves gods over us either. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share. Thank you so much. Take care. God bless. And as always, I will see you in the next videos. Bye for now.